Hello. I am Caroline Mary and I am host of Ascension TV Online. Welcome. I'm here on the eve of the Lion's Gate, and it's also the eve of my 44th birthday. So years ago, I knew that there was something with the 8th of the 8th. It's a double number. My date of birth is the 8th of the 8th, 1981, and it all adds up to 8. So I was always thinking there's something with this. Somehow my soul needed me to know this date, and there was a reason. I've always believed that as a soul, we choose things pre-life that means something in our life, where we're born, the time and date of birth, etc., even our name. And over the last 10 years, certainly, maybe a little bit more, I've had more and more people confirming that on the outside world, people like Diana Cooper, Carl Gray, all those great spiritual leaders that we know about, reminding me of what my soul knew as a kid, but I kind of didn't know whether I was making it up, but something in me was like, there's something. And now, of course, I know the 8th of the 8th is a Lion's Gate, and it's the alignment between our sun and Sirius. So it's a really powerful energetic alignment, bringing light codes for us to help with our ascension. So I think you'd probably have to be in a spiritual vacuum to not realise that there was something going on. But if you follow astrological alignments and news, you probably know that there's also a lot going on at this time. I'm just going to shut my window and I'll be right back. It feels like pretty much every day there's another alignment that is bringing in releasing, right? If you think on a macro, micro and macro level, what as above, so below, everything that's happening in the universe, it affects us. If you look at the Kabbalah, the tree of life, and that body of teaching, then all of the planets connect to different aspects in us. So everything that's happening up there is affecting us, it to a more or lesser degree, of course, because some people are not either awakened energetically, so they're just quite numb to their feelings and they're living in a resting life, you might say. But others of us, we really feel it and we notice what's happening. So for example, I was really wanting to launch my first solo book, Who Called You Crazy, tomorrow on the 8th of the 8th, and yet it just wasn't coming together. And in a way, I'm lucky, I feel grateful, because actually there's 6 retrogrades, and who needs that when you're launching a book? So I'm going to actually launch it on 9/9, not 8/8. And we are a 9 year, so the energy of 9 is really powerful this year. And for me, the book, it is maybe a new beginning for some people, but for me on my journey, it's the closing of a chapter. It's 18 years ago that I got sectioned, and the book is obviously Who Called You Crazy? You're having a spiritual awakening, because I knew that. I didn't have the phrase the Kundalini awakening, I didn't know those words that back then, but I knew something deep inside me was awakening. I was getting streams of information, I was having visions, I was starting to connect to spirits, I was praying like a mofo so I could keep aligned. I got taken to a local psychiatric hospital, and some part of me knew it's part of my destiny. Didn't know how that would play out, but I certainly know the second time that I went in, which was 18 years ago, it was like, wow, this is just something that I know I need to witness, to come out and tell other people, like, no, this is actually what's happening. Okay, so it's not a deep dive into the real deep spiritual beliefs that I have around a lot of the mental health diagnoses, but it is an overview of what was happening for me, certainly what I believe a lot of people go through when they're having their awakening, where they have a lot of energy, they're not grounding it, they're not sure whether it's something that's bad or good, and people around them are not listening, they don't want to know, they're having a lot of information, a lot of excitement, and people just think, oh, you're just on another planet. And in a sense we are, because we're accessing a different vibration, we're accessing almost like multi-dimensional self, and the people that are around us expect us to be in the human form that they've known and loved all their life. They just don't know what's happening, right? So that's actually going to be coming out hopefully now on 9/9, but tomorrow is the Lion's Gate. And when I was tuning in not so long ago, asking if there was something that I could give, okay, I was guided to make this video. We are in Mercury retrograde. I dropped my old computer on Monday, and I had some of the videos that I'd pre-recorded for Ascension TV Online, and Spirit's like, don't worry about it, just make a new one. Here I am, I'm Caroline Mary. So I had my first vision when I was about 7 in a school playground. I write about that in my book, Who Called You Crazy? And I think I write about it in the Mary Magdalene Oracle, which is this book here, which is the latest book that I'm in, and it was on the released on the 22nd of July. You can get that from Amazon, or you can get it from my website, openlotusliving.com. But I have wanted to do this TV channel for a really long time, but I was told a few years ago, you're not ready yet, you need to do your healing. But it feels like it's time now. I'm going to be 44 tomorrow. It's quite a nice number, also adds up to 8. Notice the numerology there, and it's 4-4, which is really balancing. 4 I would see as the energy of stability, the 4 directions. 4, if you think of a square and the base of a pyramid. Okay, so if you've followed me for some time, or you know my website, you'll know that my symbol that I have for my business, Open Lotus Living, is a triangle, but it's actually a 2D representation of a pyramid, and an energy protection that I was given by one of my massively helpful cosmic guides, Ben Zachary Shaw, that you can find on Facebook, or in the links actually in my website, under the links page there. He's amazing, incredible guy. So anyway, why am I doing Ascension TV Online? Well, let's face it, we're in the biggest awakening of all time on Earth, or one of the biggest ones in recent history, that's for sure. And we're all going through massive changes. So this is going to be my platform to share things that I have been going through, tools and tips that I believe are really helpful, and anything that I'm inspired to share, you'll get it on here. My computer's been groaning with the weight of unwritten or unfinished blogs. I'm going to do them as vlogs instead, and I will be interviewing people that I know and love, people that are in my sphere of my local community, spiritual teachers and healers and wise ones, so that you can get to know them, but also probably the co-authors in the books that I'm in. So I'm in 4 books at the moment. There'll be another one coming out in November. They are collaborative books from the Oracle series, led by Angela Aurora Medway Smith. She is a teacher, friend and mentor of mine. I met her about 7 years ago, went to a Mind Body Spirit fair, walked in and said, no, yeah, I need to speak to you, and the rest is history. I'm now a co-author in those books. So those books are for you if you're on your awakening path and you just think, oh my God, what the hell? Or you're wanting to find out tools. My book, Who Called You Crazy? Having a Spiritual Awakening, helps you to understand what you might be going through, why another narrative, which is not just, oh, you're bipolar, and you're going to live with that for the rest of your life, which is what I was told. And I knew it was more than that. Yes, you might look, you might say that's what it looks like, but for me, I understood it on an energy and soul level. And my Ascension TV Online is essentially a platform that I can just share the teachings and ramblings, because that's what I like to do. So something that happened actually when I was awakening, I was getting streams of information, and obviously I was connecting to me. I understood the mind of God, right? Direct revelation. We all have access to that. I write about direct revelation in Intuitive Oracle, which comes out in November, and you'll be able to find a free PDF on my computer in the resources section. I'll put links below the video there. And I knew it was profound. I knew it was important. Things that I received then as knowings and downloads, I have seen so many people talking about. If you think of on Hay House, so many of the themes that they talk about, that I was receiving it, but because the people around me weren't spiritually awakened, they weren't aware, they didn't want to know about it. It was like, whoa, too much, too weird. It freaked them out, right? I was sharing them with them. Oh my God, I've just understood this thing, and I understand this concept, and blah, blah, blah. They didn't like it, okay? And if you've read A Course in Miracles, one of the first sections in the big theory part is that revelations are for us, they're personal. So if you start sharing revelations that are not for people around you, they are literally going to think you're cuckoo, because when we receive a revelation, we're getting it in a way that speaks to us, okay? As guides, a higher self, Holy Spirit, God, they know our journey. So whatever we receive is drawing on like the infinite being that we are, the journey that we've been on, the snapshot of our consciousness, and the message will make sense. Whereas if I just say a sentence from that to somebody, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? You can't, blah, blah, blah. I've had my brother say, you can't say that, you can't say that. because they are not me. They haven't had that inner journey. So of course it doesn't make sense. And over the course of the last nearly 20 years since awakening and getting to this point, I realize that now, which is one of the reasons why it makes sense for me to share it to you, because you are looking for spiritual understanding. You're looking for somebody to go, oh yeah, I get you. That makes sense to me. Whereas telling your family when you're awakening is just a shock to them, because they're not having those mystical moments. They're not having that direct revelation. So to them, you're just on another planet, because in a sense, as I said, we're in a slightly different vibrational reality to them. We're being in an altered state, and in our current Western way, it's still not that accepted and not that understood. Okay, so that is what I'm about. I live in mid Wales. I was born in London, so I go in and out of a London accent. It was kind of bullied out of me when I moved up to Wales, so I kind of zipped it, and I couldn't really speak for sometimes. I could barely even say my name. So over the course of the sharings, I'll be sharing the challenges in my journey, but obviously also the things that help me. I am a life coach, I'm a healer, and I literally use my tools every single day, because I would not be able to do what I did, like I do now. All right, my journey has been one of challenge. I've got a yod. Had an astrological reading from a beautiful woman on the weekend, and she was like, "Oh my God, da 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 da." Okay, and this yod, a finger of fate, a finger of God, is apparently a challenge. And I'm like, I knew that. My life has been blessed in a lot of ways, but internally, it's been like absolutely having to turn around every belief that I was carrying so that I could live in this modern world. Okay, I didn't like being white. I didn't like being this era. I didn't like being a girl. Right, when I grew up, I was really struggling, and yet because I knew of past lives, I knew that I had chosen it, and the way I've dealt with that is to keep facing, right? You know that if you resist it, it persists. So a lot of the journey that I do with myself and my clients is helping to integrate soul parts, okay? And the shamanic terminology, that is soul retrieval. So if you're journaling, if you're using EFT, if you're speaking to somebody and you're able to let those parts speak, you're letting them come closer and you're integrating them. Sometimes you can send the parts up to God, if you like, to heaven, to connect with your higher self, right? Or other times it just merges. That part of you is no longer in conflict. But a lot of the integration that I've done over the last few years is integrating conflict, that I was living this way, and then I started getting the feelings of like, and visions of like, oh, I need to be doing this. And there was such a big gap, which in astrology, that is your north and south node. Okay, so my north node is Leo, my south node is Aquarius, and the north node in Leo is resplendence and enjoying myself and having a beautiful home, and the Aquarius is I cannot have anything, I've got to whip myself, I've got to live as a martyr, or as an aesthetic. And in my 20s I really felt that. I had dreadlocks, I didn't really know I didn't want to do anything for money, I didn't want anything to do with money, I didn't want anything to do with business. And over the years it became really obvious to me that if I was going to make any kind of impact in my life, in this world, in the way that I wanted to, I was just going to have to get all over that shit, because I've got to have a computer in order to get stuff onto the internet. Yeah, so a lot of my journey is digging into many let's have a look tools in order to integrate those soul parts. And those are the types of things I'll be sharing with you, and anything else that I feel inspired to share, basically. Okay, I'll be literally offloading all the visions and wisdoms that I've been carrying with me and not quite knowing what to do with. So I'm Caroline Mary. It's gorgeous to meet you if you haven't already met me through Facebook or on the events that I run in Mid Wales here. And it's so good to connect with you. I know I may never meet you in person, but do know if you're listening to this across time and space, our souls will be connecting, and it's a pleasure. I will invite you to sign up to my newsletter on openlotusliving.com. If you go to the front page and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a little subscribe form. I do an email about once a month. You'll find out about different events, online things, offers, book launches, and all the good stuff. So if you want to follow me, obviously you can follow me here on YouTube, but you can go across onto my website, and you can also connect to me on Facebook. I don't have a business page because it's just too much for me to follow, but I am Caroline Mary on Facebook, so you're really welcome to friend request me or follow me or do whatever you need to do. I'm also on Instagram with Caroline Mary open lotus, so you can follow me there as well. If there's any questions that you'd like, given what I've just shared, which isn't a lot, but there'll be more over the coming months, fire away, ask questions, comment, do what you need to do, even if it's something that you don't understand or you think you disagree with. Go ahead, because I'm not here just to talk at you. I want to engage with you, and if there's something you want to know and I haven't covered it yet, do ask away. Okay, so I want to come back to something I was shown before I got in the shower this evening, is the Lionsgate. All right, I know there's many teachers now talking about Lionsgate, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details because I'm not an astrologer by my nature. It's not my forte. But what it is, my forte is something that, again, another tool that I use regularly. And when I was asking Spirit, okay, what is something I could give to you, my viewers? Potentially you're going to be my tribe, you might follow me, and they reminded me of why I chose to be born on the Lionsgate. Okay, so I follow a lady called Caroline Oceana Ryan. She's absolutely incredible. She's amazing. I love her to bits. I've been following her for about 7 years, say. She does a lot of free videos. It's absolutely amazing, always healing, always insight. So really go look her up. She's fantastic. And when I came back from Portugal the last time, I was kind of in pieces, I won't lie. I was really disappointed in myself. I was beating myself up, and I was just like, what the hell am I doing? I just don't understand it. I went to Portugal to do this dream, okay, this beautiful dream of mine. I'm going to just lock my door so no, my partner doesn't come in and interrupt the flow of the video. And I needed some clarity. Honestly, I needed clarity, right? We all need help. So I wrote and had a session with her. And in this session, she calls in your guides and angels. And I said, what is it with my date of birth? Like, what is my purpose? I don't understand why I have not been able to co-create the Rainbow Centre, which I went to Portugal to do with these beautiful people, this soul family. I just don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Anyway, to summarise the answer, firstly, it was like, you are anchoring the Rainbow Centre in all that you do, which is true for all of us, okay, which leads me on to what I'm going to give you in a minute, that you can anchor and use every day of your life. And that helped me understand that even if I'm talking to one person, I can be the light for them. And if I can be the light for them, that will ripple out. So I don't have to be living in that healing centre to, I'm not failing is the point. So if you've got dreams and you're like, why isn't it happening yet? Believe me, your higher self and your guides will have something else, yeah? So the iteration of that physical manifestation will happen in the way that's for your highest and best good, not when you think, right? And if I had done that, I wouldn't have finished these books. I wouldn't be in the books that I am already now in. I wouldn't be having connected with Angela. So you know what? The curse was a blessing, right? And one of the things she said is the reason you incarnated on, in this life on the Lionsgate is because you came in with a lot of star seeds. And I'm sure you know what a star seed is, but the star seed, I want to say phenomena right now, is that a lot of us are remembering that we're not just native to Earth, okay? When I grew up, I knew I'd lived I just felt I lived all over the planet, and I didn't want to go back. A lot of the time I didn't want to go back to places because I was sad. I had this deep sadness of the times that had gone, the lives that had gone, the eras that had gone. One of the latest ones with as a Native American, an Indigenous American, as White Flame, and I'll talk more about that in other videos. But I knew that I'd lived many times, and it was just, I just felt so sad at the state of the earth. I was just like grieving, basically. But the next thing I also felt is we cannot be alone, and it just doesn't sit okay with me to just assume that we're the only planet in the universe. Come into watching Star Wars and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, right? All these multiple dimensional beings, these different star people. And over the years, obviously it came to light, yes, we are souls that have lived in multiple realities, timelines, planets, okay? And then 10 years ago, I met my friend Leanne, amazing intuitive psychic, psychic, and she spoke light language, talked about all the ETs she'd met, the visions she'd had, and and I started speaking light language. That's just one of the languages that I speak. That's the one that comes out the most. But we all have multiple lives that we've left. Okay, you may not remember them, but that does not mean it hasn't happened. Okay, I have a friend that is adamant she's not lived on Earth before, and I believe her. The way she speaks, yeah, why not? But she's lived in other planets, and she's a wise one, and she's a kind soul. She's an amazing soul. All right, we've all got a different history, like every single one. We're completely unique, like a blade of grass, like a tree. We're all completely different. Okay, now if you resonate with me, if you've ever resonated with me, it's probably because you're also a starseed, and something in you knows. There's a knowing. Okay, this is a vibrational thing. It's not a matching. Oh, I like your glasses, whatever. It's a knowing, and I have that with people. You either click or you don't, and people that click, they're just like, oh, thank you, because whatever you symbolize and talk about, you're helping me activate and remember and align and allow what is within them. All right, and that is one of my functions on Earth. I don't feel like I'm living in the highest iteration of it, but it doesn't matter. And what Caroline said to me was that I work in my sleep time, and many of you will be doing that too. We're not just doing the work here, it's our vibration that is what we're carrying, and who knows what you're doing in your sleep time. So never ever think bad. And this is what I was saying to her, like, oh, I'm failing, I'm never doing anything right, and blah 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 blah. And she was like, no, because you're working on the other side. My partner's the same. He sleeps a lot and he's doing work on the other side. You might not remember it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's not happening. So never underestimate the worth that you have, no matter how your life is looking right now, believe me. But that is why you might be here, because I'm hoping that my presence in your life activates and reminds you of everything that you are, who you've been, what you're here to do. Whether it's to be a mama, whether it's to plant trees, whether it's just to be in a shop and be kind, it doesn't matter, because we're all anchoring our own vibration. And this takes me to the tool which I was reminded to give you. All right. Very soon I'll be teaching something called angelic vortex healing. You might intuitively know what that feels like and what that might be. Okay, you won't be kidding. I just had a moment then. Oh my God, I've been talking and it isn't recording, but it is recording, so that's good. So with angelic vortex healing, I talked about that in the Energy Healers Oracle Volume 2. You can read all about that. If you want to get it, you can get it from my website, and I'll post you a signed copy, or you can get it from Amazon and you can buy an ebook. But more or less, it's a simple way that you can use angelic frequencies to heal and get clarity, get wisdom, get into alignment of abundance, or anything. You can use it for anything, all right? But this one is a soul alignment vortex, all right? A soul alignment vortex. And so what I want you to do, if you want to get into receiving mode, into alignment with your higher self, okay, call upon this soul alignment vortex. So take a moment. If you want to receive this, make sure you're safe. Please do this when you're driving or lifting or heavy machinery, all that jazz. Keep yourself safe. Be lying down if you want to, sit up if you want to. Just make sure you're somewhere undisturbed. If you can't do that right now, rewind it and do it when you can. Okay, obviously it's online, so you can listen to it again and again and again. That's an important thing. All right. So have a few breaths. Have a breath in, calling your soul in and present, and a releasing out. Releasing out. Having another breath in, calling your soul in and present, and a releasing out breath. Grounding, relaxing, grounding, relaxing. Okay, so I am going to call forth our higher selves and guides to bring upon you a soul alignment vortex that this is unique to you, your soul alignment vortex, and you can ask for this to be wrapped around you anytime you need to come back to your center. If you go to a busy place and you're feeling a bit jangled, soul alignment vortex, please just take a minute in your car, have a few breaths, and let the energy swirl around you, okay? And as you breathe in, you're letting those energies permeate into every part of your being. As you breathe out, you are coming into full coherence with your true self, okay? Your soul, in a way that's for your highest and best good at this time. And what this will do is it's not going to remove your memories, but it is just going to bring you back into the pure frequency of your true self, the conscious energy that you really are, the unique fragment of the divine. Okay, so soul alignment vortex. So you can just keep your breath going. Notice, see, feel, or know that this vortex is coming upon you now. If you choose it, you have to give yourself permission. Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean that it's going to happen unless you really choose it. Okay, your higher self will know if it's right for you. So nothing bad's going to happen about this. This type of energy is always self-aligning and is intelligent. Okay, so it's going to bring you back into your alignment. You might just feel like, I can breathe. Oh God, I remember myself. All right, you might have been feeling a bit off for years. I know I have at times, okay? And then you remember somebody says something to you, oh my God, and you back into alignment, all right? Just have a few more breaths. And you can be relaxing into this. And if you see colours, you might get certain colours that for your highest and best good, all right, that they represent that soul frequency. It might be the colours that you need to come back into your soul alignment, okay? Often when I tune in and see this, I see like a jadey green colour and a bright fuchsia pink and then loads of white pearl. That's what I get when I do this, all right? But that could be what I need at this time, but it might not be the soul colour. But colours, as you may or may not know, they all have a different frequency. So when you're working with the healing rays, they all will bring in and they work in tandem with your highest best good so that you receive what you need at this time. Okay, so if you're going to do other meditations, this isn't going to hamper it. It just means that you're back in your centered self so you can enjoy anything else you're going to be doing tomorrow. All right, so one of the ways you can enjoy that is seeing the column of light that's coming down, going down into the earth. All right, it's another really important way to ground. When people say you're grounded, that's what you're doing. You're allowing the energy to move out and down your body. Okay, and breathing out is the best way to do that, right? When you breathe out, you start relaxing, right? When you breathe in, the energy's rising. So if you've ever done yoga, you know you breathe in and your arms go up, you breathe out and your arms tend to go down, mostly, all right? And that allows you to be an earthing rod for the energies that are coming to Earth right now. They're already coming, okay? We've had solar storm after solar storm this year because the energy is ramping up so that the Earth can heal, that we can heal, that we can come back into alignment so that we can ascend as a collective consciousness on Earth right now. So, soul alignment vortex, breath. Those are your two keys that I will give you today. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, requests, pop them in the comments below. You can also email me at carolineMaryAndrews@hotmail.com, or you can message me at Facebook as well. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. I hope you have an amazing Lionsgate tomorrow. I hope that you're enjoying the summer or winter if you're down in the Southern Hemisphere. It's absolutely beautiful to connect with you. If you'd like to appear on Ascension TV Online, you're very welcome to apply. You can go to my Facebook page, my website, and there's a page there and it's got an online application, so you go ahead with that. And if not, just subscribe and you can get updated every time there's a new video. So wishing you so many blessings from the bottom of my heart and the top of my heart and all that we are. Mahado ershuna hawala edrudruk in megere era asha elikudruk kama ilehe taulo edna yedra undrudruk manda khale rushua yuama oikene malama. So much love to you, and I'll see you again soon. Take care for now. Bye.